So we'll start with arrays today. Now this word arrays, it's a word, very common English word. Earlier in programming what we have done is, we have seen a smaller version of arrays. We people have seen the concept of variables. All of you know variables. Variables are basically containers which can hold something for you. For every operation on a value, you need to store it in a variable, and then the variable is used in the program. So variables we all know, many times we have defined something like this. Let's say int of x. It simply creates a container variable of 2 bytes. And this variable is capable of holding any integer value. So to store an integer value, we have earlier defined a variable in the program. But now, the thing is that for every value, you need to create such a separate entity, such a separate container in your program. Now, if you have 2, 3 values or small number of values, the concept of variables is perfect. But if you have large number of values to be used in the program, creating such large variables will become impossible. Not only creating the variables becomes difficult, to use them in the program, to handle such a large bunch of variables, even that becomes difficult. So, if you have 2 values, 5 values, 3 values, always go for variables. But if you have 100 values, 1000 values, 500 values, it is practically impossible to create variables in the program. And in that case, we will move to the concept of arrays. Now this arrays is also basically a variable. An array is an extended variable. It's a large variable which can hold multiple values in it. This can hold one value at a time. Let's say I store a number 32 in this variable x, and I try to store the number 70. 32 and 72 both cannot be stored in this variable x. Either it can hold 32 or it can hold 70. If you wish to have both of them, it's practically impossible. The second value, when you try to store in this variable, it will overwrite the first value. So that should not happen. A normal variable can hold a single value, it cannot hold multiple values, and that is why for every number in the program we create separate variables in the program. So what is an array? It's also a variable. The only difference is, for an array, this is how I'll define an array. This is variable declaration. This is also variable declaration. The only difference is, this variable can hold one value at a time. This variable, this large variable, can hold multiple values at a time. I have written 10 in this case. This 10 stands for the dimension of the array. I have created a large variable. This large variable can hold 10 values at a time. Mind well, earlier a variable could have held only a single value. This variable is holding 10 values at a time. This is a variable, this is a variable. This variable can hold single value. This variable can hold multiple values. In our example, it can hold 10 numbers. The array that is created in the memory will consist of 20 bytes. These 20 bytes can hold 10 numbers for you. If I create 10 separate variables by this method, all the 10 variables will be scattered in the memory. Can you see the advantage? These 10 values will be stored one after another in the memory. The 20 bytes can hold 10 integer numbers, and the 10 numbers can be stored one after another in the memory. One more thing. While you are learning arrays, why don't you do one thing? Consider a variable as a single house and an array as a building, as an apartment. If you can understand this, you'll definitely understand arrays. A variable is like a single house. A variable can hold a single value. A single house can be used by a single family. A single family resides in a single house. Whereas array, as I said, is a building. Now, if this building has 10 flats, then 10 families can reside in this building. So, a house and a building, that is what you need to keep in mind while you understand variables and arrays. Single value storage, a single value resides in a house. Multiple value storage, a building can hold multiple families depending upon the number of flats. So here in front of you, I have a flat, a building. This building consists of 10 flats. This is flat number 1, this is flat number 2, this is flat number 10. The only new thing you need to understand is flat numbering starts from 1 to 10. Whereas in arrays, the positioning of elements, the numbering does not take place from 1 to 10, it takes place from 0 to 9. So this first flat of the apartment called as A, this will be called as A of 0. Second flat of the apartment A will be called as A of 1, this is A of 2 and so on. The last flat instead of A of 10 will be called as A of 9. Remember, while declaring an array, this is the dimension. While accessing the array, this stands for position of element. See, this is the whole building, apartment called as A. The name of this apartment is A. This is the first flat of the apartment A. So this is A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3. This is A of 9. Have you noticed one thing? I have used square brackets over here. In earlier C programming classes, I must have told you people that do not use square brackets. Square brackets are not allowed. Why it is not allowed? Because square brackets are reserved exclusively for arrays. They denote arrays. So as soon as I place a square bracket over here, it stands for arrays. While you declare an array, this is different. When you use an array, this is representing a different thing. When you declare an array, this stands for the dimension, the number of elements in the array. When you are using the array, this stands for the position of element in the array. A of 2, you should say, this is the name of array and this is the position of the element. You should say element on the second position of array A, element on the first position of array A, element on the 0th position of array A. Now I wish to scan it. I wish to scan 10 numbers. Now by scanning the 10 numbers, the first number should be on A0, the second number should be on A1, the third number should be on A2 and so on. The last number I want to scan on A of 9. The easiest technique would be to write down 10 scanf statements. But then that does not solve the purpose of arrays. If I write down 10 scanf statements, then the program again would be lengthy. If the number of elements are 1000, then you will have to write down 1000 scanf statements. So instead of writing 10 scanf statements, I write down one scanf statement and put it inside a loop so that it may be executed any number of times. But note one thing. The first number should be scanned on A0. The second number has to be scanned on A1. The third number has to be scanned on A2. So do that. This is what I will do. I'll put a loop where instead of 1 to 10, I am using a loop from 0 to 9. I'll get the element from the user. I'll ask for the element and I'll get the element scanf %d. And here I write down the most important thing of arrays, ampersand of A of I. Remember, this A of I is not the array. A of I is element of the array. By writing A of I didn't mean the whole array. By A of I mean only the single element of the array. A of I can be A0, A of I can be A1, A of I can be A of 9. A of I is not an array, A of I is an element of the array. Secondly, this loop is solving two purposes. Remember, first, it is repeating the scanf function 10 times. That is the first part of using the loop. But more than that, the most important part of this loop is it is varying or changing the positions from 0 to 9. You can see over here I have written A of I. So when I is 0, the first element will be scanned on A of 0. I is incremented to 1. Next element will be scanned on A of 1. I is 2. Next element will be scanned on A of 2. I is 3. Next element will be scanned on A of 3, A of 4 and so on. The last element will be scanned on A of 9. So what I have done basically over here is to access all elements of the array, to access all positions of the array, what I have done is this. I have placed a loop which varies the positions from 0 till the last position, that is dimension minus 1, and inside this loop the elements are referred individually one by one as A of I. It's the ith element of array called as A. A of I without the support of this loop is nothing. A of I depends upon the loop. If you are writing A of I without a loop, it does not solve any purpose. Secondly, I wish to print the elements of this array. Remember what the situation is. I have an array of 10 elements and I wish to print the 10 elements on the user screen. The 10 elements are from the position 0 to 9. Now when I think the 10 elements are on the position 0 to 9, then I have to vary the positions from 0 to 9, and for that purpose again I have to use a loop where I vary the value of positions from 0 to 9. This variable could have been I, j, k, that depends upon your choice. And here I will again print the element one by one inside the loop by writing A of I. Let me repeat this. A of I is not array. A of I is an element of the array. Same thing you have to think again. When I is 0, A0 is printed. When I is 1, A1 is printed. When I is 2, A2 is printed. A3, A4, A5, A6, the loop will be executed till A of 9. The last element that will be printed would be A of 9. So, what does processing an array means? I wish to process an array. Process an array means access each element of the array. And to access each element of the array, there is only one method. That is to use a loop starting from the 0th position till the last position, and inside the loop, access the element by writing A of I. Now, when to use an array? When to use variables? If you have small number of values, 5, 10 values, then you can always go with regular variables. But you have large number of values, if you have a collection of values, then instead of regular variables, we should be sticking to the concept of arrays. I'll just show you a few small programs, how execution takes place, how the values are to be entered. That thing I'll just show you based upon this particular explanation.
Sir,
So we'll start with a very basic program of arrays. See, I'll again say the same thing. This and this are almost identical. Both results in the creation of variables. The only difference is the first line creates a variable to hold only a single value. The second line creates a variable which can hold multiple values for you. While creating an array, you need to be sure about one thing. The dimension has to be mentioned. Secondly, dimension should never be a variable. It has to be a constant value. So you first tell the compiler that I want to create an array of 10 numbers or 100 numbers or 1000 depending upon your requirement. You can declare an array of any size, but the size has to be mentioned very clearly over here. It has to be a constant value. What I do in this program is I simply scan 10 numbers in the array on the position starting from 0 to 99 and I'll print the elements on the user screen. For that purpose, I'll require a position variable. I define I. You could have taken any other variable. I wish to scan the 10 numbers, and when I say 10 numbers, you need to understand the numbers are from 0 to 9. So I have used a loop from 0 to 9. I'll ask for the element from the user and I'll scan the element one by one by writing ampersand of A of I. Just now I told you A of I is actually not the array. A of I stands for one element of the array. The loop varies from 0 to 9 and you scan the numbers on different positions from 0 to 9. I is 0, the scanning takes place on A of 0. When I is 1, the scanning takes place on A of 1 and so on. The scanning will go on to A of 9. To print these elements of the array which are stored on from 0 to 9, I will have to again vary positions of the array, and that is from 0 to 9. These elements are printed by writing A of I. Let me again repeat this. A of I has to be written inside the loop. If the loop variable is j instead of I could have written A of j. If the loop variable is k instead of A of I would have written A of k. The name of array can be A, B, C, D, the way you name a variable. You could have any name of the variable, you could have any name of the array. I'll simply scan these numbers for you. Enter the element. I'll enter some different numbers for you. I'll enter 10 numbers. I hope you understand that these 10 numbers are stored on different positions from 0 to 9. When I print them, the elements get printed on the user screen. So one thing has to be understood very properly, that you need to use a loop to access every element of the array. And inside the loop, you need to specify the position, that is by writing A of I. Now I can do anything based upon this. I'll just give you a small example. Let me change this array to 50. Now the same array which was holding 10 numbers for me, now it can hold 50 integer numbers. Obviously these 50 integer numbers will be present on different positions starting from 0 to 49. To access all elements of the array, now my loop will not take place from 0 to 9, but the loop will go from 0 to 49, and one by one each element will be scanned on different positions. Suppose someone asks me to find out the average of these numbers. Now to find the average, I'll have to first add the 50 numbers that are stored in the array. So for summation part, I'll define a variable over here, sum with initial value 0. To calculate the average, I'll have to define an average which obviously will be a float value. Now, what comes to your mind? I wish to add the 50 numbers in the array. The 50 numbers are stored from 0 to 49. Now when I say 0 to 49, I indirectly mean to say you have to use a loop starting from 0 to 49 and add each and every element with the variable sum by adding sum equals to sum plus A of I. Just go through it. One by one each element of the array will be added with sum. First A0 will get added, then A1 will get added, then A2 will get added, and so on. The addition will take place till A of 49. Finally, at the end of summation, you need to find out average, where average will be simply sum divided by 50.0 to convert it into float, and whatever the average is, I will display the value of average on the user screen. So this is a simplest of program where I have scanned 50 numbers, I have added the 50 numbers, calculated the average by dividing it by 50, and finally whatever the average is, I have printed it on the user screen. So now what you need to do is just type this program, execute it on your own, try making changes in the program, like change the name of the array, change the position variables. Try doing this without a loop if possible. I know it's impossible, but try doing it on your own. Try to work upon it, try variations in the program. The more you will try, you will get a better experience of programming. So the next class, I will tell you more about arrays. Thank you.